I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video, and we have the 95 Zlatan Ibrahimovic Summer Heat card for you today. Tomorrow morning I will do Kubo, hopefully. A couple of games left on that one. But 5-star skills, 4-star weak foot, 95 rated. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the highest rated objective card we've ever had, right? Wasn't it 94 before that? Was Kessie? Is Kessie 94 or 93? I can't remember. We'll see in a minute when we go into the squad. But either way, a 95 rated card, seemingly for free, of course. You do have to give up your time. But apart from that, yeah, no coins spent. Medium-low work rates, which is fine. High and average body type, and of course right-footed, 6'5", and of course he doesn't have like amazing mobility, and that's always been a problem with IBRA. I have no idea why EA refused to give him high balance, because in real life he has very good balance. You cannot push him off the ball. He is acrobatic with it as well. You have to have good balance to be able to do the acrobatical things that he does even now. What is he, 56? So, yeah, I mean, I don't understand. EA have given him 47 balance, which is still a boost of 4 from the 90 and 8 from the original 85 rated card. I don't understand why they can't give him 80 balance. It wouldn't really make an awful lot of difference in game, to be fair, but in real life, he's going to have balance. I don't understand it. Either way, the rest of his stats look very nice. There may be one or two that we'll talk about, because obviously we have to talk about a negative in the card. And it's mainly going to come down to the obvious. He doesn't fit the game well because you need smaller, agile players. Like in FIFA 19, this card would have been arguably the best card in the game, right? IBRA's card. Did he have a flashback, I think, with that disgust? I didn't like the flashback card last year. The sort of browny, bluey, horrible colour. I didn't like it. But the card was phenomenal for doing the El Tornado cross or receiving the El Tornado cross. He used to play him and Ronaldo either side of like Bale, for example. And on paper it doesn't work. But in FIFA 19 it worked a treat. In FIFA 20, unfortunately, Ibra's just not going to be as, you know, useful, if you will, as dangerous and as frightening. You used to come up against this guy a lot in FIFA 19 and think, oh god, here we go, because you know exactly what's coming and you can't defend it. It's like Ryan Kent in FIFA 20. You know what's coming. Pace. You can't defend it though. So 95 acceleration, 92 sprint speed, 99 positioning, 94 finishing, 99 shot power, and 97 long shots. I'd love to sit here and just really big up his finishing. I don't know whether it was me, probably, because I don't think I've been playing well the last 3 days, but I'm not sure it was me or whether there's something wrong with the game more than usual. I came up against two 80 rated goalkeepers and they saved everything. I don't know why, I don't know how, but they did. And Ibra's, you know, near post finishes just weren't going in. And then next game, Ter Stegen, and we score 3. It doesn't make any sense. So that's the team I've got him in, trying to fit as many Summer Heat cards in there as possible. Kessie is 94, there you go. So he was quite close with an objective, but 95 Ibra, I think that's got to be the highest. Either way, that's a pretty nice team, to be fair. Maybe, I don't know, 1 or 2 weak links here or there. Is Ronaldo still good enough? Ooh, don't know. The video on the channel if you want to go check it out. There is an instance in this game we're going to talk about toxicity within the community, but for the most part, of course, it is going to be just Ibra. Is he worth the unlock is going to be the ultimate question, and it kind of, you know, tried a FIFA 19 thing there, didn't work. Hit the target, but didn't really work. We're going to get another chance in just a second, though. So, whether it's worth it or not comes down to your time. If you're doing champs, you're going to have to do that and then do rivals on top. Now, realistically, it won't take you a ridiculous amount of time. That's an 80 rated goalkeeper save right there. Yeah, it shouldn't take you a ridiculous amount of time, because there's only one segment of a win requirement, so you should be able to do everything else quite straightforward, and you need to win 8 games. Now, if you don't plan on playing 8 games this week, that is obviously not ideal. You're going to have to force yourself to do it. With regards to Kubo, of course, you can do it in squad battles, but I think it's worth it because you've got at the very worst, a 95 rated card for an SBC. But to be honest, IBRA in-game is very, very nice to use. I mean, the better players amongst you will be able to take him into champs and still do really well with him, score goals, etc. I think if you're looking for high finishes, or maybe you're looking for every advantage possible, you won't go for him, purely because he doesn't fit the game. I've got a cross there with, okay, I tried a header, but he actually just volleyed it into the bottom corner. He is a good goal scorer when you're playing against keepers that aren't broken by whatever game mechanic is being exploited at the moment. 80 rated keepers, man, 2 in a row, and I just couldn't score against them. It was crazy. I don't get it. And then I think this guy's got like Ter Stegen, and we were just banging him in. I really didn't get it. Either way, a couple more clips to show you before we get into that toxicity discussion, and we'll sort of swing it back round as to what's good and bad with IBRA. It just comes down to a little bit of mobility more than anything else. Great finish in there. Just a little bit of mobility. You know, he's not super slow or anything, but it's just that movement. Let's talk about toxicity for a second, because this game was really toxic from my opponent's side. I turned it toxic from my side as well, right? But either way, bit of an IBRA clip here, does really well, and then just gets fouled. We get a free kick, and I end up cocking it up. Anyway, he scores, he makes it 1-0. He's got a decent team. I've got my team. We've both been skipping replays up until this point. He gets unbelievably lucky there, where he just literally goes through 3 or 4 people he doesn't deserve to or shouldn't have. But there we go. I press pause because I'm genuinely going to leave the game. He then decides to shush me, and he runs and runs and runs, right? I then decide, no, do you know what? Because I'm stubborn and I'm a dick. I am not leaving this game. You're not leaving this game without a fight. I was determined to come back and bare minimum get a draw, if not beat him. IBRA helps me do that, because IBRA finishes twice at the end of the game to win me the game. Now, they are very identical goals. Very identical isn't a thing, but they are very similar goals because they're both sort of cutbacks, dragbacks. I end up having to run to the camera and give him the treatment because he shushed me for absolutely no reason. And you can say all this, it's just a bit of banter in game. There's no need to sort of do it back to him, if you will, because or maybe I'm reading too much into it and we're both just having a bit of banter. There's no real malice in there. But that is a classic toxicity signal. You know, if someone shushes, someone puts their hand to their ear, or they do one of those celebrations where they lie with their back on the floor and their hands behind their head just after they scored a goal, it sort of, I don't know, it angers me because I'm thinking he's just, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those really toxic things to do in FIFA. The sensible thing is to skip the replays and just to get back into the game so we can both get out of there as quickly as we can, while obviously if you want to have fun, etc. But you know what I mean? But when someone does that, it just forces me to play even harder, to go for it. And I switched into a different formation. I pressed quicker and harder. And in the end, we got 2 goals with IBRA, and he came up trumps in that situation. That's another thing to mention. Normally, in a game like that, I would want to bring on my Mertens and my Promes and all those sort of meta cards that I'm used to using and we're all used to using, right? But in this situation, IBRA was good enough to be able to get me the 2 goals that I needed to win that game against what was, to be fair to him, despite the toxicity, he was a very good player. And at 2-0 down, I gave myself very little chance. And I was pressing pause to quit the game because that annoyed me, that goal he scored. Because it was just bobbling around all over the place and it shouldn't have gone in. But the shush made me stay, and that's what ultimately made him lose the game, which is just funny, really, because had he not done that, I would have left and he would have got the win. Having said that, is this card a good card? Yes. He in front of goal, very good. He's strong, he's powerful. The balance does put me off slightly, because even though he's got 99 strength, when he gets nudged, he does sort of stumble slightly. And it's really irritating because 99 strength doesn't necessarily mean 99 strength unless the balance is high. So obviously what I did was give him an engine chem style because we wanted to boost the balance up, but we can only put it up to 57. So it doesn't really do an awful lot, but he does feel very quick in a straight line considering he is 6'5". He is still very strong, so the initial first bump he's going to generally get the rub of the green. His finishing is very good, in particular when going for the near post, for example. His acrobatics are quite good. You'd have seen evidence of that in the review of him somehow doing some sort of El Tornado and then just looping it over the keeper. Very good goal. But yeah, in general, very good card. Very nice to have for free, although not one that I would imagine you'll see being used in the starting 11. In terms of a sub, I think as an impact sub, he could have some value. I think he could come on and do a job for you, but in general, I don't think this is going to replace, for example, your Mertens or whatever version of Ronaldo that you currently have. If you don't have those players and maybe your team isn't as, advanced as that, then this could be a nice addition. Definitely worth the unlock, in my opinion. If you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.